Well, at least this is almost set up from last time I did this. The first time actually taking it apart. I do need some kind of pad to put between this and the end of the shaft, but I think we might just use another piece of the kit. Why not? All right. Okay, tighten on that. It's just not 22. So does that make it 7/8? Probably. Probably not 26. So I took a bunch of those sockets home. Therefore, this could be metric fit all sized. And then I'm going to need something to hold maybe we should tighten on the crossbar a little more. Maybe we should do the right thing. Oh, here's a 7/8 wrench. Well, that's handy. Yeah, that's not quite on center. We need to get that. There we go. There we go. A nice solid click. Same as how we went on. Now, if I had a piece of tubing bigger than the outer race, I could have done this on the press. In fact, I could have skipped to this part and just pressed the end out and turned it over. But I don't have a way to go past this. this piece has that spacer, or it's actually a lock ring, so we have to take the other bearing off no matter what, because the gear is trapped on the shaft. So we take this bearing off first, because it will allow us to then press the shaft out of the other bearing. Come on, what's going on? Jeez. Making me work for every little bit. I'd expect nothing less. Mull that off it a little bit so I can bring in I don't know, the claw a little, whatever the arm is. Bring it in so it's no or lesser chance of coming undone. Oh, this thing is just fighting every inch of the way, too. Hey, Jake, what's up? Ugh. fit? Yep. Oh, we need something to go in the middle of that. Oh, this is just great. Maybe a socket. We had a socket that was big-ish. The 22, that wasn't a 20, whatever, is this one? There we go. Maybe this will work. So it's all about how much you can cheat to get the thing to do what you want it to do. This guy goes in here. And we need to get our rag out. Great. Seriously? Okay. Now we don't we have another spacer deal? Yes. Okay. And now we need another socket. Oh gosh, that's awful close. This side of the setup has a smaller diameter socket. So let's just get him there and being held in place while we find a different, smaller socket to be our spacer. Now I did have this one. Oh, this will be perfect. It's a 3/4 long impact socket. So let's hold this still. Let up on there. You think that's enough room? No. Now the tubes underneath are supporting it by the big gear. Now we're going to push the shaft out of the middle, which is what I did initially to disassemble this. There we go. So the only way the gear can leave is from the bottom. It does not fit through the holes. And there's our shaft. Alright, so if that's forward, we're on the right side. We need the output to point backwards, which is this way. And then the gear needs the side with the narrow wear ring towards the outlet. There's our narrow wear ring. Can we see this? Sort of. Okay. Alright. Can it fit through here? Oh, actually it can. Okay. That's pretty great. So we don't necessarily need this here at this moment. What we need is this dealio to be driven in and then driven on. Didn't I have another spacer somewhere? Well, I don't know. I thought I had another. There it is, I do. Oh wait, is this right? How about this? Alright, so the trick now is we need to push on the bearing and not the race. So technically that can go on, and it won't quite be long enough. That's too big. Alright, so we put in this. We can get it started like this. make it go up enough that that fits. Maybe. Alright, we went straight. And we're probably now against the flat. So this is the same sleeve that's above. So we're going to use him as a spacer. And then maybe there's enough room we can put the socket back in. Maybe. Probably not. No, there's not going to be room for the socket. Thankfully, we won't be pressing on the sleeve. We're just using the sleeve to support the bearing as the shaft goes through it. Now we're probably smashed against that. Uh-oh, that is kind of grumpy. Ooh. Ooh. That's not good. Dang it. Seriously? I wasn't counting on this to be stuck like that. Well, 1 step forward, 50 backwards. I guess we're going to go back over here and extract our little ring. It's just great. It's fine. Everything's fine. So much for assuming it was all the same thickness everywhere, because, you know, that would be a valid assumption normally. But in our fun reality, no. No, no, nay, nay. You don't get anything easy. No shortcuts. No nothing. So what exactly did I do to put that in? There must be yet another spacer somewhere I'm not seeing. Wow, that's got all the weirdo torques happening. Okay. Alright, so we saved the spacer from ourselves. Now let's go back over here. Well, that's not a fun shot. You can't see. Well, maybe that'll work. And that's all we got as far as depth in that piece. Nah, just dropping things like I don't care or something. So now we have to come up with a plan for the rest of that. How did I do that? I just did it yesterday, so the tool should be here. Oh, here we go. Here's the other spacer. And that's up against there. All right, now back to where we were yesterday. This is the output. Okay, this is the right side. That's forward. Can you see what I'm doing? Sort of. Is this crap on my screen in the way? Okay. Alright, so the piston's here. This is going to be the not outlet side. So the outlet side goes this way. So then next goes the spacer, then the gear, then the other bearing, how come it looks like I made it sideways already? Oh, because I did. Let's just put that flat on there. Just get him lined up. We're going to ignore the housing for the moment. Is that right? Or, yeah, we're going to ignore the housing for the moment. Okay, so we're going to put this here because it's solid, actually. There we go. Okay. Alright, just double check that the other bearing is correctly oriented so we don't have to do this all again. Baby steps getting started. Alright, didn't go with a bang or anything. Alright, I think it's actually slammed everything against the bar. Housing's still loose, which is what we want. Let's loosen just a little so we can get everything out of here. Just don't let it fall apart. One piece at a time. The gear is in there nice and tight. This is the side with the closed cap. Our really crappy homemade gaskets. And then this points that way. See, there's 4 ways this can go, 3 of which are not right. I actually have all new screws coming. I got some galvanized grade 8 5/16 screws off of that Jungle website for really cheap. Maybe they'll even be good screws. Come on, you can do it. Well, your other 3 friends can, so screw you, I guess. You with your supremely crummy gasket. Perfect. And you are pointed to the back. And we use your magic screws. So these are specialty flanged studs that go into the PTO and retain it at the same time. Hey.
You're doing an American belly. You want wings or a Philly or a burger or anything? What are you thinking for lunch?
Huh. I guess a Philly cheesesteak?
Okay.
Yeah, with just usual, no lettuce, no tomatoes or anything gardening, just like the normal should be meat, cheese.
Meat cheese only?
Well, meat, cheese, green peppers, onions, the normal stuff, not.
No mushrooms?
Oh, we got mushrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
You want that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So go ahead and put on.
Okay,
Gotcha.
thank you. Hi. Are you having fun yet? I'm just glad we undid the suck that we had from last time. That would be yesterday. And I still tried to screw it up again with that whole sleeve problem. So we're going to have to double up on these nuts and tighten down. And then we're going to push in the seal that goes there, which probably you could say started all of this. Was that seal leaking? So this end of the studs has fine pitch. The other has normal / coarse pitch. Something tells me we already have out the wrench we need. I don't know. What do we have here? Here, what do we have over here? Okay. All right, so we got that one pretty tight. Let's do opposite. Now I've made the bold assumption that I can get the bottom gear on with this one locked in place. It's probably correct. Yeah, that guy's on there pretty good. Alright, that still spins free enough. Good enough for me. This probably has a little bit of preload, which I think is just fine. Again, there's like absolutely nothing in the spec for these. Like just zero. There's just like a parts diagram is the only instructions. That's pretty dang tight. I mean, these are equivalent of like 8mm metric steel into steel, so easily 30 pounds. Probably more like 45 is the spec. And we're just kind of keeping these on here so we don't lose track of them. They are fine pitch nuts. If I lose them, they're sort of gone for a while until I go to the not grocery store, the grocery for tools stores and find new ones. Goodness, that's tight. There's evidence whoever first put these in used vice grips, because I did not put any tooth type of marks on those, and they have tooth marks. Pretty much working on motorcycles, reinforce that you don't ever use vice grips on studs. So, do we want to put that in now? Let's get on with. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Maybe we get on with the other part. This side is really effing tricky. So we have, can you see this? Not really. 17 sticks as rollers. They go on either side of the spacer. In the middle of this setup, that goes in here. And that makes sense if it goes this way. Alright, we're going to find out in our stuff which way this goes. Where's our stuff? Alright, so here's one place. Alright, Alright, I do have it backwards. Housing goes up. This gear points right. There's the set screw. There's the dent for the set screw. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go find... Does that make sense with this? Output, yes, that makes sense for this. Okay. Now we're going to get... I think we have a phone. We're going to get our phone. And we're going to look at yesterday's post. There we go. There's the shaft, the dent over here. The groove is on this side. And what's going on in this picture? Oh, okay. This is me removing the one off of the end. Okay. All right. We've got it all. And then I can see here is the broken race. That's on the other side. It's the inner race, but the bearing broke out from around it. All right. So this is when we took it apart. This is the right direction. We've double and triple checked because that's what we have to do. Everything can go the wrong way. Literally, there's 4 options for this thing to go. Maybe more. I'm entirely not sure why this shaft has, maybe that's for oil transfer. That would make the most sense. If this goes up, are they offset? No. Alright. So this lives at about here. Okay, so it got me. Maybe we just have it sort of point up and down. There we go. I've got something built up to where it's sort of flat, sitting there on its own. Oh, wow, that just spilled all over my world. Looks like my pink socks are gonna have a blue stripe. Pretty much I only wear them at work anyway. Alright, so we have some grease. Let's put in a stick. can only imagine the setup they use to properly build these at whatever factory, and it's probably a lot more exciting than my rig here. A wise person might have counted. Wow. I remember the crestfallen attitude as these spilled out, as I knew that meant sadness upon reinstallation. I was like, oh, that's gonna suck. I have no idea how we're gonna pull this off. Yep, they're already starting to fall. Alright, is that big gap supposed to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So how many do we have left? 3, 4, 8, 12, 14. 16. So we need to figure out how to get this one in there. Huh. Like this? Oh, jeez. Alright. Well, we did it. And then there's this Woodruff key. This kind of pegs my stressometer, I ain't gonna lie. It's all 10 bats of 10 bats on the bat shed scale. Because next, we're going to try to convince this stupid setup to stay put while pointing straight up and down when we smash the big stick through the middle. I just don't know how it's going to happen. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot more blue goo on our clothing today. It's okay, I wore pink, it's fine. Pink and blue go together, right? It's trans colors. I can't pick up the stick. Too much lube. No! Ah, it fell out. This is quite the delicate operation involving too much lube, slippery rods and holes, and just, wow. You can do it. You can go in. You did it on the other side. Ah, don't fall out. Oh no. Oh no. Proof of concept. Gosh, I'm so stressed out. Holy crap. Okay. I did it. These go on either end. Now, let's get this set up in the press. And then we'll try to reach over with the other thing and hope for the best. I'm going to take one of these screws out over here. Oh God, this is heavy. Maybe we'll take a second screw out. This one. We need a little bit of something under that. We don't know how much. Less than this. So what we're doing is we're trying to get set up before, oh, that just kind of happily gets started. Okay. We will accept that. I did bore on it a little bit. How's this? Oh, this might work. Okay. Can you tell if that's flat? I don't think it is. Well, it's close enough for the eye. Oh gosh. Those go there. What could possibly go wrong besides everything? Alright, no stress, no worries. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. Scare the F out of me. Alright. Oops. Alright, we got that centered. I think it just drove that over onto the sticks perfectly. I can tell you that one's gonna need to move. So I tried to line up that bottom washer as close as I could. Oops, way too much. Yep, pretty sure we're through. I need to recenter. So the scariest part should be over, I think. Now we have to get the shaft actually was sunk in a little on both sides, so we're gonna have to get it sort of even. And this is going to take a little bit of iteration, not the end of the world. Let's find ourselves a skinny, tall-ish socket. I don't know if we have that much travel. We'll see. If we jack everything up, then we'll need to support the whole weight of this thing on the bottom. Yeah, let's go up just a little bit and use that. Did we tighten? Yeah, we're probably squishing the... Yeah, so... we need something better under there. Great. Isn't it great when you plan ahead so carefully? It's like, do I even have a flat tip screwdriver? And I kind of don't. Well, hi, Mitzi Kitty. Little Mitzi Princess Kitty visiting. Eight-mile long flat tip screwdriver. What's the story? Are we at the end of our stroke? Food's here. Okay. I think we're at the end of our stroke. Stroke it, stroke it. Well, that's going to be it for this moment. That's pretty much the assembly. We're just going to see how he's in there, I don't know, 1/4 inch. And then he's proud just a little. So we'll mess with this to get that kind of perfect. And then we'll be back. Actually, I don't know if we're going to be back. Like, just getting to this point was pretty huge. I just needed from my own mind to get here. That was a struggle. So, geez. Thanks for being a part of it. And we'll see you later. Struggle busing on Billie Jean's PTO.